What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to this week's episode of Outside the Arena with Mac and Griff. I'm Griffin Senek, joined by my co-host, Mac Rommel, and today we're back with another episode of The Typical. We're going to talk some football, obviously. We're going to go pick Mac's fantasy lineup once again. We're actually reigning champions in that. We won last week with our entry. So if you haven't checked out that video, go check it out, see how we did, see who we picked, see the strategy. But also, keep watching this video for our picks for this week. And, we'll also give our game predictions for the week. I don't know what I'm saying, but you ready to get the show on the road, Mac?
I'm ready. Let's hop right into it.
Let's go. So first things first, actually, before you share the screen, and I haven't even enabled that, so I'll actually do that before we even start. The New York Mets, my favorite baseball team. I've talked about them a good amount on the podcast. I was actually looking for a Mets polo. I couldn't find one, unfortunately. But they have been bought by Steve Cohen, the richest owner now in baseball, $14 billion. He's a lifelong fan. And I'll just kind of give a little quick rant. I'm super excited about this. I think it's huge for the New York Mets. I don't think Yankee fans really know what's hit them. I think they're in disbelief. They're in denial right now that the Mets are going to be competing with them and probably better than them for this foreseeable future, just because we have unlimited money now. And I think it's huge for them also with obviously the coronavirus really impacting teams' losses this year. The revenue is way down for all these teams. So you see teams like the Tampa Bay Rays already, who are fresh off a World Series appearance, declining a player option for Charlie Morton, who was one of their aces because they simply can't afford him. Brad Hand, Indians closer, superstar closer, $10 million. That's just not the market for these guys right now. So we're going to see a big drop in prices, which I think is huge for Steve Cohen because he's got $14 billion. He wasn't an owner this year, so he's just going to be able to capitalize. And I think it's huge. I think he's going to have a really good time with the free agent market this year. He's bringing him some smart guys. I think they're really going to get it running from top to bottom. And, he's already done some great things. He's already given the employees at Citi Field their salaries that they should have made, but the Wilpons cut them off like the scumbags they are. So, he seems like he's doing a good job. I know there's worried about the insider trading, but come on, what's some insider trading? You got to dabble in that on Wall Street, you know what I'm saying? But very excited for the future of the New York Mets, and I can't wait to get the alert that says Trevor Bauer will be pitching for us next season. So I'm excited for that. Mac, you got any thoughts?
Well, as I kind of spoke to you about this a little bit before, I said I don't really know much about him and stuff like that, but I do know, as you said, he is the richest owner right now. And of course, that's going to bring a lot to the table and a lot to the team. You're able to get a bunch of guys in free agency, and in a league that doesn't have a salary cap, that's huge. You're able to just build based on the amount of money you have. And by getting the richest owner in the league, that could easily bring you from one of the worst teams in the league to one of the best teams in the league, just like that.
Yeah. And I think also, it's not like this is like a team in, it's not like this is like the Oakland Athletics or the Tampa Bay Rays, where it's a small market team where the revenue they're getting is not big. It's New York City. The Mets should and will be able to produce a strong revenue if this team is good. It's just been a disaster, poorly run. It's been run into the ground these past few years. So I think that's why we've seen the revenue just tank and the team lose so much money. But if they can get this team on the level of the New York Yankees, I think they can get it to be a dynasty. And with Steve Cohen, I truly believe that the New York Mets can be the Kings of New York. Really haven't been since 2015, I would say. That was a good year for them. But I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I'm super excited to see, and definitely woke up good feeling this morning that I have my favorite baseball team is the richest owner by $10 billion in baseball. So that's a great feeling.
I bet it is. 14 billion. Why not share with us?
Ridiculous. Yeah. We'll take it. All right. So you want to get into, you want to pull up your fantasy lineup. So let's start with that, I'd say.
All righty. So let's start off with running back, I guess, like we normally do.
Yep.
And I kind of mentioned this.
Nick Chubb's on there.
Do we want?
Yeah. So, Mac and I were talking a little bit before the show. And obviously Aaron Jones and Joe Mixon have been ruled out. So we're assuming that Giovanni Bernard and Jamal Williams are cheaping. And Jamal Williams, it looks like is $20 right there. And then Giovanni Bernard is $17.
Yep.
Gaskin's also $20. That could be an interesting play too.
Yeah. Good players.
So let's put in Jamal Williams, I'd say for sure. He definitely performed last week, and I think that's worth 20 for sure.
Yeah, going against Minnesota. without
unless it was
Ngakwe.
right. Um, who else can we go? Miles Gaskin, Gio Bernard. Could
I would
go
like
for a
to-
big guy, get like a Kareem Hunt maybe.
Yeah,
I was
Yep.
gonna say Clyde against the Jets, but they have
yeah, Lev.
Bell now, so
Derrick Henry versus Cincy.
could go for that.
Because Derrick Henry's been a boy, been a dog recently. I mean,
In the beats. I mean, I hope he doesn't go off because I play him in fantasy this week, so I'm really hoping he doesn't go off, but it could be a nice pick.
cheaper. Jonathan Taylor for 23.
Should we give our boy Gio the start again, or I mean, Tennessee is a tough matchup. It is a tougher matchup, but
Yeah. Oof, that's tough. Oh, Boston Scott starting
Ooh.
with Dallas.
Is Miles Sanders officially ruled out?
I believe so. I know for sure Boston.
Oh, he is. Yeah. Look it up there. It's so let's put in Boston Scott.
All
Why
right,
not?
we got
We'll
that.
give Boston the start this week.
Let's go to receiver then. Oh my gosh,
DK Metcalf 33. I traded for him this week in fantasy actually, so I have him on the team now.
I think Devontae Adams gonna go off, but he's so expensive, and we got Jamal
Yeah.
Williams too. Tyreek Hill.
Oh, that's that could be could be. I mean, we did pick Diggs last week and he didn't do great, but
Yep. I mean, I am surprised at that game too, that the Jets were able to keep it close in that first half.
I know I mean, they didn't look. They defensively they looked good, not offensively, but defensively they looked very good. Hey, why not?
Maybe we got Boston Scott. I was gonna say Travis Fulgham.
Yeah, that would be Chase Claypool still. Keenan Allen for 22
versus Denver. I mean,
didn't we pick him last week?
Keenan Allen. I don't think we picked Keenan Allen.
He had a week last week.
Or Justin Jefferson versus Green Bay, maybe. I don't know.
That could be good. I like the Keenan because I don't really think Denver's had I don't think Denver's corners are healthy.
Yeah. Actually, I could check something real quick on the NFL fantasy app. It kind of gives like the ranking of the team they're going against at that position, how many points they give up. So I could see if how good he is or how good he's projected to be. Yeah, it keeps auto correcting to Keener. Oh, let me select them. They're 19th versus wide receivers. So yeah, that's pretty.
That's a great pick. Yeah, 22. They're really Amari Cooper for 21. Wow.
I know. I mean, Ben DiNucci. I think he's going to get him the ball.
We will definitely be talking about the Dallas Cowboys and Ben DiNucci after we pick Mac's team, but it could be. I mean, he will have Darius Slay on him, but
yep.
T. Higgins.
Yeah.
For Cup, Miami's got some good corners.
Juju is kind of low, honestly.
It is Baltimore though.
I mean, maybe AJ Green. He's been getting a lot of targets the past 2 weeks. He's been doing well. Could be an option there.
Do you want to maybe come back to receiver since we still have a lot of money? So maybe we just go get our tight end first.
Yep.
Kelsey, low key, we could go Kelsey in
27. Holy,
is that cheap for a tight end or expensive?
I thought we had like some in the 30s last week, but I could be wrong. But I don't know why. This feels cheap to me.
We could go Kittle here against Seattle.
It's true.
I feel like we should definitely get Kittle, Waller, or Kelsey.
Let's just go Kittle for now, I guess.
Yeah, that's fine.
I think you get a big game. All right. You want to do defense?
Yeah, let's get the defense out of the way.
Right, let's check our 10s out. 3 10s.
Raiders against Cleveland. That's not even terrible.
I think that's a good one.
The Cleveland Browns, they barely pulled out that win last week.
Yeah, they haven't been playing great.
Jets against Kansas City for 12.
Let's do that. Let's flip and do that.
Yeah.
Oof, this is tough. The Raiders look like the best cheap one.
Yeah, I agree.
You want to go for
Put
that?
the Raiders in for now.
All
So we
right.
have 3 positions. We have 25-ish to spend at each.
Yep.
Okay.
25. All right.
Should we get a QB? Let's see what the
Yeah.
QBs are valued. Oh, I thought QBs were
I
mad.
know. I was gonna be like, oh my.
Yeah.
Yo, what if we just do a Ben DiNucci?
Oh boy. I mean, Mahomes is gonna have a day, but
or
that's still
or once too.
once for 31. That could be it. That could be it.
Who could get a lot? I mean, see cheap.
Where's Benny DiNucci?
How much? Oh, Tua. I'm excited to talk about him in a bit too.
Jameis for 21, and they don't even give DiNucci goat on here.
Where's DiNucci? DiNucci.
Oh, there you go. $20 still. Geez.
That's a steal for DiNucci.
Should we plug him in? No.
That would be so funny.
Well, if we plugged him in, then it doesn't even help us with our money issue. We may as well pick someone that's better.
I don't know why. I feel like Tua could have a good week this week. His first start. I mean, I don't
Go
know.
for 2. You want to just put him in?
Yeah, I don't know why. I just want my boy.
You want some 2 in there?
Yeah, I want the game in his first NFL start. Feeling it. I'm
A
feeling it.
receiver.
All right, so we have 27 for each about. So
We could definitely spend we could go like 27 for each, or we could go one cheaper and then one not so cheap. We could go we could go Lockett, honestly.
Yeah, versus San Fran.
Yeah.
Plug him in.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Now flex. Let's see it.
We get Thielen, Zeke.
Oh, we have 28. Oh my. Cowboys do get Zach Martin back. That will help.
I feel like they'll run a lot too, probably.
I agree. I mean, the problem with Zeke is last week he wasn't even doing too terrible, and they started putting Pollard in instead.
Yeah.
So that was kind of confusing me. I'm not sure what they're going to do this week.
Go Josh Jacobs against Cleveland.
That could be a good one, yeah. I actually may like that.
And then we would have $2 more to spend.
Yeah, we could put that elsewhere.
You could go, yeah.
Wait, where's what? Where is it? Okay, I was gonna say, what if do you want to put because Waller's cheaper? I remembered him, and then we would have 7 extra. But you put for flex. I'm not sure though.
We could do that.
You want to try it?
That. I think Waller's good, so.
All right. Now we have $7. I mean, that's tough. You want to go for maybe look at quarterbacks?
Yeah.
So then we could have 30.
Oh, it's like just 31.
Oh.
Do we want to take Kittle out and then put Waller at tight end and then go for a even stronger flex, or no?
I think we could do that. Yeah, let's do it. Oops. All right. And where's Waller? Cheap. And then now we get a big boy. We get dog. DK.
Kareem Hunt. Oh, but we have Raiders D.
Yeah.
I don't love any. Like, I feel like maybe we should just go put Kittle back and then just go for like a Zeke or a Jacobs. I feel like.
All right.
Because I'm just not seeing anyone there that's like.
No one explosive.
Yeah.
I kind of like Josh Jacobs.
Let's put him in then. And then we'll have $2 extra.
Where could that go to? Let me move my.
Is there a $28 receiver? We could get like a Thielen instead of Lockett. I don't know who Jair's going to be guarding though.
Yeah.
It's risky. What about at 2-0? Is there a $25 QB that's a little better?
Let's see. Andy Dalton, yeah. He's not even playing.
Philip Rivers or Drew Lock? Yeah, probably
not. Anywhere else? I mean, or we could look at like, is there a 24? Yeah, no, it's just Fulgham.
Boston Scott? Probably not. No one's gonna be better there. Do we go for the defense maybe? See if there's a good $12 defense.
Good. Yep. So 12. New Orleans.
Bears against New Orleans. Oh, what's a good defense this week?
Scroll up just so we can see a little bit more.
$20.
20 for a good defense. That's
no, thank you.
That's a bit much. I really like these running back picks because they're cheap.
Yeah.
This is tough.
I mean, this is a good team right now.
Yeah, we don't have to spend the other money.
Yeah, if there's no one else we love.
I think we could keep it, honestly.
Yeah, I think it's a solid roster.
All right, let's plug it in. Save changes, and we
there
are.
She is. All right. Well, that's our lineup for the week. Hopefully, we'll win again for the second week in a row. That'd be pretty fun. But yeah, doing good with that. So, with that, I say we talk some football from last week. Last week was another solid week in the NFL. I mean, I'm trying to think of where to start.
There's a lot of places we could go.
Wow.
A lot of places we could go.
We could start. Let's start with Odell Beckham Jr. and the Cleveland Browns, actually. This first game that I just saw come up. Obviously, Odell, torn ACL, is going to be out for the season. Big loss for the Cleveland Browns. They obviously do have Jarvis Landry, but after that, their wide receivers do get pretty weak. So overall, it's a pretty big loss. They were able to pull out the win in a very close game with the Bengals, but I think the emphasis here is they are going to need Nick Chubb back because their run attack is going to be their key to that offense. That's my take on that. They got one more week till their bye, and then after their bye, it's expected that Chubb could be ready. So look out for that potentially, maybe 1 week after that. So Kareem Hunt's time as the starter is likely coming to a close soon. So if you have him in fantasy, like I did this week, I sold him. I just got him I got good value, and if you can still get that RB1 kind of value for him, definitely make a move. But Mac, what do you think about this loss to Odell for the Cleveland Browns?
I mean, the Browns, you saw they still were able to put up some great points, but their defense wasn't what you wanted to see. I mean, consistently putting up high points now is kind of what it seems the past 2 weeks. They haven't been playing great and what they've done through the first few weeks of the season. But I really want to talk about those Cincinnati Bengals. I mean, Joe Burrow, he was able to come off and almost pull off that comeback win on that last drive. I mean, that's what you want to see from a rookie QB. You want to see that leadership, that he could carry that team, not get them down, not get nervous, go drive down the field, go get a touchdown, go score, whatever it may be, and put your team on top. Of course, they didn't come out with the win, but that's what you want to see from your rookie QB, and I think that shows great signs for the Bengals and their future.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Joe Burrow, I mean, I'm looking at the stats, 35 for 47, 406 passing yards, 3 TDs, 1 pick, and he also had a rushing touchdown as well. So, I mean, that's a great game from Joe Burrow. We've really seen him. People have kind of overlooked him because Herbert, I feel like, has been a more surprising guy. People felt like he was maybe more prone to bust, which hasn't been the case. He's been playing fantastic. We'll actually get into that because he had a crazy monster game.
Yep.
Joe Burrow played fantastic, and I think that's what you expect out of him. He's using all his weapons. I mean, I'm looking at the receivers right now. T. Higgins, 5 for 71 and a touchdown. AJ Green, 7 for 82. Tyler Boyd, 11 for 101. So he's using all his options. Obviously, John Ross is demanding trades left and right there, but it seems like the Bengals have really got a bright future with that offense, and they are 1-5-1, but they've been in every game pretty much, I feel like. So they're playing pretty well, and yeah, I think it's a big loss for the Browns. We'll see what they do to overcome it. The trade deadline is probably actually approaching because
on Tuesday, yeah.
It's on Tuesday. Okay, wow. So look out for some trades. Maybe we'll definitely be talking about likely some stars being dealt next week on Outside the Arena. So stay tuned for that as well. I guess the next game we'll talk about, because I'm looking at the sheet and they're up next, the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, this must have hurt. A big 25-3 loss to the Washington football team. The Cowboys just can't get it going, Mac. Obviously, Ben DiNucci now is the starting quarterback this week.
And that's why we're going to win the Super Bowl.
Ben DiNucci could be the GOAT. Andy Dalton just really did not play well. He just doesn't seem like he's what he used to be. Not a stud at all by any means. You look at the football team, they were motivated. They played good football. Antonio Gibson had a great game. Terry McLaurin had a great game. Zeke continues to struggle in a way, 12 for 45. He only had one reception. Amari really dominated the passing game. I mean, 4 other passes were only caught by other receivers not named Amari Cooper. So what do you think of this Dallas Cowboys loss and pathetic performance, man?
It is terrible. I don't even know how I watched them. I think this is the first time as being a Cowboys fan that I've actually sat down watching a game and I'm like, why am I watching this anymore? I think that this has been the first time I felt like that ever watching a Cowboys team. But I mean, the defensive struggles continue. I mean, you're making Antonio Gibson have a career day. You've been doing it every week of the season, making a running back have the best day of their career. It just blows my mind. But of course, you did cut Dontari Poe and Worley, their reliabilities. Poe is 30 pounds overweight. Worley just got burnt every play. And then, but defensively, I mean, I don't know if we spoke about it, but Trayvon Diggs, he shows signs and glimpses of hope in the future. But I just don't see how you could call out Terry McLaurin, get in a fight with him, and then let him go Bernie for 50 yards. Like I just don't get that. If you're gonna call someone out, you got to make a play and back up your words. But offensively for the Cowboys, Zeke struggles as you said, but Tony Pollard, I mean, last week 2 yards per carry on 8 carries, 16 yards. Before that, we kind of saw in the previous game that Pollard was playing fairly well, getting multiple 5+ yard runs after the fumbles of Zeke and when they took him out. But Pollard didn't look great. Zeke didn't look great. So you weren't really able to get anything going there. And then at the quarterback position, of course, Andy Dalton wasn't great. But, I mean, how could he be great with offensive line that only has one starter on it? Of course, you're getting Zach Martin back this week, which should help bend DiNucci a little bit. But, I mean, it's terrible for this offense. Andy Dalton, I mean, he's struggling. I wouldn't even want to come back. If I was Andy Dalton, I wouldn't even want to play for the Cowboys right now. You get hit in the head and none of your teammates support you after that. They don't help you. They don't fight. They don't stand up for you. They just walk off the field. I mean, there's no leadership. There's no leadership at all. And I don't see how the Cowboys could win if they don't have leadership. And that's exactly what Dak brought. And we're probably not going to see that until next year.
Yeah, I mean, it's just been a mess over there. It's been I mean, it just reminds me of some New York Mets stuff that would really occur. I mean, it's just a disaster. I mean, the coaches and players just aren't getting along at all. They're just constantly talking through the media rather than it seems talking to themselves. Um, I think they need to fire Mike McCarthy and all the coaching staff. I believe Kellen Moore is still there, right?
Yep.
He's just not. I mean, you can say what he wants, but his scheme is nothing special anymore. I mean, people thought it was something special. It's not.
Yeah.
The Dallas Cowboys have been figured out. And with Dak Prescott, we really saw that they were just they just got down quick and then they would just start chucking the ball up. I mean, the offense is really nothing crazy right now. I mean, obviously when Dak's there, it's a top tier offense and the O-line as well. So there's a lot of injuries there, but I mean, right now it just is a mess with the Cowboys. I just think didn't they traded some D linemen as well too, right?
Griffin, yep.
They did move him. So I mean, it just seems like I don't know. It's not promising right now, and I think they're showing that. I mean, really, defense does win championships. I mean, you got to have at least a defense that can stay on the field and get stops right now. And I don't think when Jerry drafted CeeDee Lamb's a great talent, but the defense. I mean, it's not going to help you win any games when you already have good receivers and your defense can't get a stop. So I'm not saying they shouldn't necessarily spend the pick somewhere else, but they definitely didn't put enough of a focus on the defense, and I think it's showing right now. And I think this offseason, we're going to have to see them come out and make some moves. I mean, also guys just aren't playing well. I mean, Jalen Smith has really not been playing too well.
Yeah, he could even get cut or traded this offseason too.
Van Der Esch, I don't know what his deal is, if he's been playing all right. DeMarcus Lawrence, I don't think it's been anything great, but it's just a tough year for Dallas Cowboys fans. I know a lot of people are happy about that. I'm kind of indifferent towards it, so I feel for Mac here, but yeah, I don't got much more to say than that. Anything else?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, but I mean, something we could even get to eventually down the line, see if it progresses or when it comes towards an end. But something I've been seeing on social media, a lot of Cowboys fans, analysts are kind of thinking this. What if the Cowboys end up with the first or second overall pick? They're thinking
not the first. That'll be the Jets right there.
Hopefully not. Hopefully not. Well, hopeful for you, not for me. But they're thinking the Cowboys, instead of spending that $40 million towards Dak for the salary cap per year, towards Dak. Instead, you take quarterback Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, and then you use that $40 million to get some studs on defense and free agency. You get like 3 really good players. I mean, you got players like Desmond King, Marcus Williams, who are free agents there. That could really help your secondary right away. So, I mean, I've been seeing something like that, and maybe we could get towards that later on in the season. But Dallas has a lot of work to do, and they're going to have a lot of big decisions this offseason.
Yeah, if they really do end up in a spot like that, I feel like that kind of is maybe the smart decision, just off the fact that, I mean, it seems like in their system, Dak, we're kind of seeing, though, that you can't necessarily plug someone in, but Andy Dalton isn't a beast. So I feel like if you are able to get a Justin Fields or a Trevor Lawrence, I would not spend the money on Dak. And I know that hurts probably for Cowboy fans to think of, but that's just the nature of the business. They tried to give him a deal. They couldn't agree to something, and you move on. You don't take the risk of him not being the same with the injury, and you get a new quarterback. It's a bad thing to do, but it's NFL. It's not the business for you if you can't deal with change at the end of the day.
Agree with you.
Well, let's go to the we could go. Do you want to go Steelers tight? Oh, we could also. I got 3 games here that I'm looking at all in a row. 4. Okay. We're gonna have to pick and choose. Real quick, we haven't touched on the Antonio Brown, so I'm going to bring that up. Actually, about that. Bucks Raiders. Bucks blow out the Raiders, a team that we've really liked throughout the season. They kind of had a lackluster performance, but the Buccaneers look fantastic on both sides of the football. Tom Brady is playing great football. They're using all the weapons. Godwin's going to be out this week, I believe.
Yeah.
But Gronk's getting involved, which is huge, I think. And they signed Antonio Brown to a deal. We've heard Bruce Arians say, if he isn't complaining about targets, he's going to be gone. So it really seems like he's kind of there because Brady wanted him there. Bruce Arians, I don't think, wanted him there. We heard him talk negatively about Antonio Brown at the beginning of the season, but AB's there, and he'll make his debut, I believe, next week. So, Mac, what do you think about this signing? Initial thoughts, as well as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers' performance last week?
I think it's a good signing, but honestly, people are thinking it's just really to improve the Buccaneers. But honestly, I think this could be more. No one really thinks about it this way, and it's kind of hard to think about it this way. But it could be more of them trying to keep it out of the hands of some other teams, keeping Antonio Brown away. Because I really don't see the point if your offense is playing this great with Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Scotty Miller. Of course, you do have the occasional injuries between Chris Godwin and Mike Evans. But this signing seems more of trying to keep him away from some of these other teams. And as you said, I think they would have been more excited to have Antonio Brown if they really meant for him to come and have a big role in the team, like Bruce Arians, as you said. If he complains about targets, he's going to get cut or something like that. But there's no everything points in the direction for me of everything I've seen in the conversations I've heard between Bruce Arians or whoever it may be, kind of makes it seem more of it's a signing just to keep him away from other teams.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. And I also think, though, you bring up the injuries. I think it's more of like a safety valve, and they want to have that insurance almost because Chris Godwin's going to be out this week. Like I said, Mike Evans has dealt with ankle injury for a lot of the season. And I think it's a guy that Brady likes as well. You see that he likes guys like Scotty Miller on that offense, Godwin. It seems like him and Evans haven't found that connection. They really haven't. Evans has been lackluster unless he's like the sole target that he has to throw to. So I think it's almost like I think it's an insurance policy because all these injuries are piling up and they don't want to get to a spot where they're really in trouble at wide receiver. I feel like they want to have at least knowing that one of their 3 studs will be there. Mm-hmm. And Gronk probably, because assuming Gronk's been healthy. But yeah, I think it's more of an insurance, but it's also, I agree with that they didn't want like the Seahawks to sign him because that offense would be insane as well. So really interesting signing there and really good performance. So this defense has gotten it going for sure. We had some questions about them after week 1 against the Saints, but the defense is playing fantastic as well as that running back tandem. We've seen them use Leonard Fournette more. Ronald Jones kind of hit the bench a little bit, which was controversial for some after he had been playing super well, but good to see them using both of those running backs in the system.
Agree with you there. Especially something I'm going to mention. I do kind of think that Ronald Jones should remain the starter and should be getting that 20-plus carries. You saw what he was doing when he was getting those 20-plus carries, 100-yard games, multiple touchdown games. He's playing great. So I think Leonard Fournette being in there is kind of hurting him and could even hurt maybe a little bit of the production of that offense. So, I mean, I think you still got to keep Ronald Jones in there and get him a little bit more involved.
Yeah, I definitely see that. At the same time, now, Leonard Fournette, you look at what he did in the receiving game this weekend, 6 catches, 47 yards. So you don't want to necessarily get rid of that. So I feel like it's more going to be a split between them. Obviously, they're both super talented backs. Um, and yeah, I don't got much more to say on that.
Yep, I agree with you there.
I mean, I think we got to touch on it just because of how absurd it was. The Lions and the Falcons game might have been one of the wildest finishes and blown leads of the Falcons in recent memory. This has kind of just been crazy. Obviously, we did see the Falcons win on Thursday night. I don't think we'll touch on that game too much. Nothing really special there, but good win there for the Falcons. But I mean, what the hell? Todd Gurley falls into the end zone, and then Matthew Stafford leads a game-winning drive. I mean, it's just pretty comical at this point. What were your thoughts when you saw this going down and saw the Falcons blow this kind of lead?
I mean, how am I supposed to say I'm surprised or? I mean, it's just the Falcons. It's the nature of the team. It's not like they've had just one or two this season. It's just consistent. I mean, literally their team blowing leads is their nature, and it's going to stick with them this year. I think they're bound to blow more. I mean, it's only been 7 weeks.
I was surprised they didn't blow it on Thursday night.
I know. I
They
mean,
almost did though.
Teddy Bridgewater, those Panthers who I'm high on, who've had their ons and offs, but yeah. I mean,
no one expected them to be playoffs this year though, and I think we're seeing that now.
Mm-hmm. But Falcons, you got to fix some things. Just wait till the offseason. Don't do anything. Just wait. Get rid of Takaris McKinley. Get a draft pick for him, and see where you guys can go.
Yeah, exactly. The Falcons are a long ways from being good, but it's pretty incredible. I just wanted to touch on that because of how, I mean, comical that really, really is. Let's go. I mean, we could go. Let's go to the Seahawks and Cardinals game. That was a crazy game. People are calling it potentially the game of the year. Russell Wilson, 3 interceptions, so that's kind of high for him, not helping his case, but he did throw the ball 50 times. Kyler Murray continues to have an MVP-like season. I mean, we've really seen this guy go off. Kenyon Drake's injured. Doesn't seem to really matter. Chase Edmonds is in town, and he looks better than Kenyon Drake, honestly. So I was playing Chase Edmonds in fantasy, and I was like, oh, it's going to be a bench guy. 0 through the first half, and then, finished with 20. That was great. But what do you think of this game? What was your thoughts while you were watching this one?
I think you were talking about me when you said people thought it was the game of the year. You saw my Snapchat post.
I thought you, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this game was great. My favorite game of the year. And Kyler Murray was great. 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, 360 yards. And, of course, he had 14 rushes last week, 267 yards, 1 touchdown. Playing great, came back to win in overtime. Russell Wilson had 3 interceptions, as he said. But Russell Wilson's still playing like MVP. Kyler's playing like an MVP, and it's crazy that the NFC West has 2 MVP candidates right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty interesting to see. I was surprised the Seahawks did lose this one. It looks like that was actually their first loss of the season. I didn't really know that. I forgot they had their bye in there. So they did lose the first game of the season that week. But like you said, they're still playing good. DK continues to kind of have his struggles, weirdly enough, against the Cardinals. It's kind of a weird thing. We saw that chase down run. That was crazy. They're going to be without Chris Carson this week, though. They play the Niners this week. So we'll get into that later, obviously. But yeah, really good game, really good football from both these guys. And Kyler Murray is really blossoming into a superstar in the NFL. So that's great to see.
Yep, I agree with you there. And also something I didn't even mention or even realize that Russell Wilson had 84 rushing yards.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a game for both QBs in the pass game and in the run game, both 300 plus pass yards, 50 plus rushing yards. And actually, I did see this on during the game. I don't know if you mentioned it or not, but how that's the first time in NFL history where 2 quarterbacks have had 300 yard passing games and 50-yard rushing games in the same game.
Wow.
Or 350 plus passing game. 350-yard plus passing game, excuse me.
Got it. Wow, that's crazy. I didn't know that, but you learn something new every day. So should be interesting there. And that, I guess, does it. I don't know if you have any other games you want to talk about from last week, but for me, that's the top ones for me.
Yep. I think that's really it for that week. We covered all the main ones, the good games. I mean, unless you wanted to cover the Titans-Steelers game.
Yeah, we can talk about that.
All right. I mean, last week we saw, I was confident in those Tennessee Titans. I was confident. I thought they were easily going to win this one, but I was
Pick the
wrong.
Titans, right?
Yep. And
And
I
I
didn't
picked the
think it was
Steelers.
close.
Did I
Yep.
pick the Steelers?
Yep. You and Rome, Steelers, me, Titans. I mean, Big Ben not playing too well. 3 interceptions, 2 touchdowns, 268 yards. He's playing like a solid starter right now. He does have things to improve on, but I mean, really, they're winning through their defense. You see what their defense has been doing. They're getting sacks. I mean, how many sacks did they have this week?
I don't think too many actually.
They only had 2. So,
Yeah.
I mean, but especially, I mean, that pass defense is really what's been good the past few weeks. I mean, they're not really getting as many turnovers as they were last year, especially with Minka Fitzpatrick. But they are able to shut down the offense of many of these teams for most of the game, and they're really able to contain a lot of the star players. They know how to scheme for players. You saw with Derrick Henry, 3.8 yards per carry. That's uncharacteristic of him, and that's really, I think, just due to that front seven of the Steelers. He did start getting going towards the end of the game. The Titans started getting it going towards the end of the game. Almost were able to come back, but it just wasn't able to happen. A lot of things that could have went better for the Titans, as you saw, they did have the missed field goal, which could have tied up that game. But this is a close game, and I think both teams are on their way to being some of the best teams in football.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I don't got too much more to say than that. AJ Brown's been playing well. Steelers have also been playing really well. They got Juju involved this week. We saw a down week from Claypool, but I had started in fantasy, so I wasn't happy about that. That kind of cost me, but yeah, I mean, good Steelers team to play the Ravens this week. We'll talk about that shortly, and yeah, it should be a top game of the week. But Titans will continue to keep it going. They've been playing well. One thing I will say, Derrick Henry, it seems like teams are doing a better job of containing him this year. I feel like he had that game against the Texans where he really broke out. But besides that game, and he seems to have these breakout runs. But other than that, I feel like he's kind of been less like, I don't know the word, but maybe less dominant. I don't know. I feel like he's not tearing up teams potentially as he has in the past. I don't know. It's just my take.
Yep, I agree with you there. I mean, as you said, to contain, like they're able to figure him out, contain him this year, and you just saw that with the Steelers this week. I think the Steelers are going to set a good example for teams facing him in the future of what they got to do, because you have seen him put up some big numbers against some teams this year, and the Steelers were really the first team that were able to truly contain him and really hold him and keep him really not able to do much for the entirety of the game, really. And I think once teams start figuring out how to contain him for the entirety of the game, it may end up being tough for the Titans team.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Well, I think that'll take us to our game predictions. Do you have anything you want to touch on before that, or you just want to get straight into them?
I mean, do you want to talk about that Falcons-Panthers game?
Yeah, I mean, we can touch on it briefly. I don't have too much to say there, but we did see the Falcons be able to come back, get the win. Todd Gurley did not look good. I'll say that to start. Julio is really playing really well right now. I'll say that. 7 catches, 137 yards. Calvin Ridley, big injury there potentially. I mean, he's been tearing it up fantasy-wise too. So I think it's a day-to-day. I'm not too sure, but
yeah, I don't think it's a big injury.
Okay, that lucky break there for the Falcons and you fantasy owners out there. But we saw PJ Walker come in for a bit. That was kind of cool. Being an XFL guy getting in there. But he actually plays in the blocks. I didn't even know that. I didn't watch really the Panthers that close. That was pretty interesting. But yeah, Mike Davis had an all right, fantasy-wise, not good, but in real life, good game for them. So Curtis Samuel, I'll mention that. Great game from him.
Yeah, that's what I want to talk about.
Yeah, Curtis Samuel, Ohio State boy, did well, played well, a few touchdowns in there, a few catches. So yeah, that's what I got for that. Good Falcons winning, just an average Thursday night game, nothing too exciting.
Yep. I'll agree with you on that average point. But I mean, you said Julio Jones having a great comeback since his injury, 7 receptions, 137 yards. But the main thing with him is those numbers are low compared, if you watch the game, what he could have had. He could have that extra touchdown, but Matt Ryan threw it too late. He was wide open, bad decision. I mean, there are a lot of these balls that are really on Matt Ryan that he throws too late that get to Julio Jones, where Julio Jones could have easily had 200 yards this game. Easily, I'd say. I mean, some of these plays, he's just running free. Matt Ryan just doesn't hit him. It's as simple as that. But then on the other side, the Panthers kind of getting that emerging star in Curtis Samuel right now, a pair of touchdowns. And he's doing it in the run game, too. He's not just in the pass. You saw him have that deep ball catch for the touchdown on a flicker. But, I mean, in the run game, too, you saw him have have a big run and a touchdown in the run game as well. 7.7 yards per carry. Playing great. I think both teams are starting to have, well, Falcons have their established star, and I think the Panthers are starting to have an emerging star in Curtis Samuel.
Oh, that's an interesting take. I definitely think I don't know if he's a star, but I definitely think
An emerging star.
Okay. I mean, well, I don't know if he'll be a star. I guess I should rephrase, but I love Curtis. I hope he does well, but I think he could be like not obviously the same as Taysom Hill, but like a Taysom Hill-esque player where he does multiple things. He's a rusher and a receiver, and he's versatile, he's quick, he can do a lot of things for them. So
gadget guy.
Good guy to have, good flexibility, and they're using him in a good way, in an interesting way. So yeah.
I agree.
Emerging star. Mark it down on the papers, stamp it in.
Mark it down, everyone.
LA Times, come on and quote Mac Rommel. He's saying Curtis Samuel is an emerging star. So
yep, I think he's gonna have some big plays this year. Maybe not put up the big stats, but I think he's gonna have big plays like he did this week. I mean, he didn't do anything really out of the ordinary aside from the amount of touchdowns he had. But I think just the amount of touchdowns in his versatility is what's gonna really show him to be a star in the game and a key player in some of these wins. He may not be like a Calvin Ridley who kind of blew up, but he's gonna do some big things for this offense. He's gonna really help out.
I agree with that. That's a fair take, and should be interesting to see what happens there. So I guess that will take us to our game predictions for the week. I will share the screen, get that going. So yeah, first game of the week, Vikings Packers. For me, this one is easy. I'm gonna go with the Packers here, regardless of if Aaron Jones is out. We saw what Jamal Williams does. He's a beast. There was this one play, I don't know if you saw, where he got tackled, his helmet flew off, and he was like hyped up. That guy's kind of crazy. And kind of is low-key the same as Aaron Jones. So I'm going to take the Packers here. I just don't think the Vikings. It's weird, though. The Vikings, aren't a terrible team. I would say their defense has struggled this year, but they've been in every game they've played, I believe. We've checked in this in the past. And
from that one,
they got blown out last week. But before that, every loss was the Colts wasn't good. Maybe not. All right. Close games recently. Not a good week last week, though, or their last performance. I guess they had a bye against the Falcons. So maybe coming off a bye, they can do something. I don't think so in Green Bay.
These Packers, man. Aaron Rodgers is the bad man. Gonna come get a win in Green Bay. I mean, this is probably a no-brainer. I mean, I do think Justin Jefferson and Thielen are gonna potentially have big days, but right now it's the Packers. I mean, I don't think the Vikings are going to be able to run the ball that well. Their pass defense is atrocious, and I think Devontae Adams is going to go off too. But Packers just all around a better team right now, I think, and I really don't see a way that the Packers are going to end up or find a way to lose this game. Bless you, buddy.
Thank you. Yeah, especially if Dalvin Cook's out. There's rumors that he's questionable. So as this episode's recorded, he is questionable. When you're seeing this, it'll probably be, I don't know when. So, but yeah, I'm going to take the Packers. That's, to me, no brainer. Almost as no brainer as this matchup here that I don't even know if we'll have to speak on. Bengals Titans, another lock for me. Tennessee's going to win this one. Bengals are a solid team, but Tennessee's just better. They're just playing. They're a top team in this league. So for me, the Titans, Derrick Henry, AJ Brown will continue to tear it up.
Yep, I'm going to agree with you there. I think this is actually going to be a high-scoring game. I think I don't see that way Tennessee Titans lose this, but I think the Bengals are going to put up some good points this week, but I think the Titans are just going to put up way too much that the Bengals aren't going to be able to handle. But Titans win. It's going to be very high-scoring.
Yeah, I agree with that one. Chiefs Jets. I mean, I wish there would be one week where I'd predict the Jets W, but
I think we may have some coming up. I mean,
let's see. Patriot. Maybe. Honestly, I might go bold and give the Jets a chance here.
You do get some wins versus the Patriots now and then. I mean, and you did it when you were a worst team and the Patriots were one of the best teams. I could see that. I mean,
Chargers, I think they'll lose this. They could win this, maybe. Raiders. I don't know. We beat the Raiders last year. Seahawks, no chance. Rams.
Maybe Browns.
Maybe the Jets will squeeze 2 wins out. But this week, hell no. Lev Bell is going to be playing against his former team. I bet he'll probably drop 500 yards on us.
Yeah.
Crowder's going to be out. Enough said there. I mean, the receivers will be trash. Denzel Mims looks pretty solid, actually, last week. I'll give him that. But, yeah, I mean, Jets are continuing to be trash. They'll be 0-8 halfway through their game schedule, and the Chiefs will be 7-1 halfway through their game schedule. So, pretty good. right there. But yeah, I'm assuming you're gonna go Chiefs here as well.
Yep, easily. I mean, and I think this is the game Lev Bell's been waiting for. I mean, as you say, you would be surprised if he gets like 500 yards or whatever. I mean,
No,
maybe he could be a must start in fantasy. Maybe we'll see. But
I don't know. I mean, I think if the Chiefs get up by like 40, they'll just screw around with Lev. So
yeah,
probably.
I
Honestly, I'm playing him in fantasy, and I'm worried, bro. He might drop 30 on me.
well,
Colts Lions, more interesting game here. Ooh, isn't it? I'll start with you, Mac. We haven't started with you yet. What are you thinking on this one? Colts Lions, tough game here.
I'm gonna give it to the Colts here. I mean, the Detroit Lions, they have been playing fairly well compared to what a lot of people expected them to be. I mean, I feel like they are a little bit of a worse team than the record says, but the Lions, they're showing their potential in the future. They got some stars. Kenny Galladay's been back, and he's been playing fairly well. You heard the rumors that he could be traded, but now it's seeming unlikely because the amount you have to give up and then having to sign him at the end of the season is just too confusing for teams. So that's probably not going to happen. But the Colts, Jonathan Taylor, I think he's going to have a big game this week versus the Detroit Lions run defense that has been spectacular. They've been all right, but Jonathan Taylor is going to have a big game. The Colts defense has been all right, but Darius Leonard playing like a beast. He should be able to stop that run game for Detroit fairly easily. I think that'll be a key. Detroit will have to win through their passing attack, and I'm not sure they're going to be able to do it this week versus Xavier Rhodes, who's been playing fairly well.
I'm gonna go with the Detroit Lions here. I mean, I don't know why I'm not sold on the Colts quite yet. I haven't been sold on them all year. They just really, to me, Philip Rivers has just not done anything that I've been like, oh wow. T.Y. Hilton's been a non-factor in that offense. They've really played through their tight ends and running backs. They've got great stuff going there, but receivers wise, really no one has gone off, I believe. And I feel like the Lions for me, I mean, we've seen what they have. They have some nice players on defense. Let's check their scores actually. I mean, they beat the Falcons in a weird one. They obviously beat the Jags. Close game with the Saints then. Like they beat the Cardinals, who are a very good team.
Yep.
So I mean, they're playing good football. They only really had one game where they got blown out. So I like the Lions here. I think it's going to be a good scoring game. I think the Lions will put up some points, but I don't know. I just got a feeling that the Lions are going to pull this one out.
We'll have to see. We'll have to see. I mean, but I mean, I don't even know. I don't even just forget it. Forget it.
All right. Steelers, Ravens, really good game here. 5-1 Baltimore, 6-0 Pittsburgh. Mac, will Pittsburgh be making it 7-0 this week? I believe they're still the only undefeated team. Correct me if I'm wrong.
They are. I think they're going to go to 7-0 versus the Ravens. I mean, Lamar Jackson, he's playing good, but he's not playing like last year. He's not as electrifying. Teams are starting to figure out how to stop him a little bit or slow him down, to say the least. Their offense is still going to continue to be great. Their defense is going to continue to be great. But the Steelers, they just have it clicking. I think that young receiving core that they have with Juju, Claypool, James Washington is really clicking. I mean, you kind of see the off the field connection and bond that they all have. I mean, for example, through the TikToks, I don't know if you've seen any, but they're all bonding. And I think that's kind of the key to have winning teams. Like, for example, my Cowboys, when Dak's in, you see the team is bonding more, they're playing better. And that's exactly what I see with the Steelers. They're just a well-coached team with a lot of leadership, and that's really carrying them. And I don't see them losing right now, even to some of the best teams in the league with how they're playing and their leadership that they have right now.
I'm going to go opposite here. I'm going to go with the Baltimore Ravens. This is going to be their first week, I believe, with Yannick Ngakoue on that defense. Their defense, it just gets better. I mean, you already look at how good it was and how dominant it has been. And I think they're going to be able to stop the Pittsburgh Steelers. To me, the Steelers, obviously, their strong suit is their defense. To me, their offense is good. It's not superstar level. I still think Ben Roethlisberger has shown, especially in the Titans game, that he is prone to weakness. He has he's not a superstar QB. He's a great QB, but he's not top 5 right now in the league. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like Lamar in that system, they've had their bye now. They had a week to kind of regress, to kind of get it going. So I feel like they're going to come fresh off their bye. I feel like guys like Mark Andrews, Hollywood Brown, Mark Ingram's not going to play. So we'll see JK actually get the start, I believe. So that'll be pretty interesting there. But I feel like Lamar, that means he's going to have a big game, especially with Mark Ingram out. And I just feel like they're due to get their offense going. And I feel like they'll be motivated after their bye, especially with Yannick Ngakoue now, to get this win. So I'm going to give the Ravens this one. I think it's going to be a fantastic game.
Yep, going to be a great game. I mean, I just don't see how I mean, the Ravens in their passing attack this week, I really don't know how they're going to be able to keep up with the Steelers in their defense. I mean, you're going to get Mika Fitzpatrick, Joe
You
Hayden.
can say the same about the Steelers passing attack and the Ravens defense, though.
Fair point. Fair point.
I mean,
But the Steelers rushing attack is better.
Yes,
I got it.
It'll be a great game, nonetheless. Both two great defenses and pretty solid offenses as well. But we'll see what happens with that. So we're now opposite on two games. Rams Dolphins. You wanted to talk about Tua, so I'll give you the lead here. I don't know if you're going to pick Tua, but what do you think? Tua Tagovailoa getting that first career start. Fitzmagic was a little sad about that. I felt bad after seeing that, but what are you thinking here?
Let's give him his first career win in his first career start, and that's I think Tua, he's gonna play. The team is gonna play for Tua. I think they're just gonna rally. I mean, coming off that big injury that he had, was projected to be a number 1 pick, and then obviously things changed. He ended up going 6th. I mean, this is a big game. I think just the leadership.
5th, I believe.
5th. Oh yeah. Excuse me, because I got mixed up with the Chargers and them. But this is a big game. I think the Dolphins are going to come out with a win. It's going to be close. It's going to be tough, but I think Tua in there. I mean, I just want to see him win. I don't know. I really want to see him win in that offense. I mean, Devontae Parker's got to help out. Mike Gesicki's got to help out. The run game got to help out with Myles Gaskin. Defensively, you have your good corners who could potentially help against that Rams passing attack. We're going to have to see. The Rams could easily win this one, but I really want to see Tua get a win here, so I'm going to give it to the Dolphins.
I'm not as much on the Tua hype train or Tua. I feel bad for him. I definitely feel for him. It was good to see him out there, but I'm going to give the Rams this one. The Rams are just a better team. We saw what they did, I believe, on Monday night against the Bears. They dismantled them pretty much. Their defense held the Bears to 10 points, and the Rams just look good all around right now. They've been playing how they should. Last year was kind of a shocker that they didn't make the playoffs with all their talent, but it seems like they've done a good job this year. All around, pretty solid team. So to me, they're just better than the Dolphins. I feel like the Dolphins will be weirdly better offensively with Fitzmagic. He was playing really well for that offense. That offense was moving with him.
I know.
So to me, that's why I feel like the offense will take a bit of a step back, just because Tua first start, you always feel like it will maybe like just have a little, when you're playing pretty well, it'll drop a little bit. But who knows? I could be completely wrong. Tua could have a crazy game, and the Rams could just struggle. But for me, this one is a Rams win. So I'm going to give it to the Rams.
All right.
Pats, Bills. To me, this one's easy. I'm going to go Bills here. Pats have been playing terrible. Cam Newton looks horrible right now. He does not look like the answer at all at QB right now. I mean, I don't know if it's from the virus that he obviously had has just sent him back, or if he's just struggling. But I have not been sold on Cam Newton. I've never really been sold on Cam Newton since he came back. He's had a good rushing games, but passing wise, he hasn't done anything passing wise this year. So the Bills, who have, they almost lost to the Jets, I still think they're going to get this one. So I'm going to give it to the Bills.
Yeah, I mean, the Bills easily should be able to win this one. I mean, the Patriots now have the COVID curse. I mean, you got Cam Newton who had it. I mean, the Stephon Gilmore started taking a dip too. I mean, you see all these star players who got COVID. Something happened to them. Zeke's not doing well. Von Miller's out for the season. Cam Newton's playing for right now. I mean, Cam Newton had one good game this season, but that's it. He hasn't done anything since. The Patriots really struggling, not going to be able to win here. Buffalo Bills are going to play great with Josh Allen, and this is going to be a big one for the Bills.
All right, well, that will do it for that one. We both got the Bills there pretty easily. Maybe the Pats can win, but we'll see. Oh, wow, we only got 6 more games left. Raiders, Browns. This could be an interesting one, honestly. The Raiders are 3-3, pretty solid team. We both like them.
Yep.
They kind of have those weird games, though, where they just seem like they're get off track.
Mm-hmm.
They had that against, who was it, the Bills and then the Bucs. Browns are 5-2 without Odell. This article here says Raiders Derek Carr should have career day against Cleveland. Interesting there. Who do you got here? I'm kind of not sure right now.
I'm gonna give it to the Raiders. We've been high on them. Browns haven't looked great as of recent. They've got close wins. Haven't been playing too well. So I'm gonna give this to the Raiders. I think players like I was about to say Derek Henry, Josh Jacobs could have a decent day. Henry Ruggs could have a decent day, but the Browns without Odell, I think that's going to kind of hurt. I'm not sure how Jarvis Landry will do as that number 1 receiver, especially for the rest of the season. He's going to be having to take that workload, getting a lot of the attention. But the running game, I mean, with Nick Chubb here, this could be a different story. But right now, I think I have to give it to the Raiders.
Some people say that there's been talk that Baker is actually better without Odell, because he had that one season with Jarvis as the one where he really looked good. Odell came in last year, he didn't look so good. So it'll be interesting to see. I feel like it'll actually be interesting because after Odell did leave, the Baker played really well. I mean, you look at what he did. He completed, I think he set the franchise record for most completed passes in a row, threw for 5 touchdowns, which is, I believe, his career high. So I'm going to give this one to the Browns, weirdly enough. I mean, part of it is, I do have that family connection to the Browns a bit, but I don't know. I just feel like the Browns are going to be able to string together something. Myles Garrett is playing like a superstar. He arguably is the defensive player right now of the NFL. Defensive player of the year in the NFL, sorry. Yeah, I don't know. I just kind of feeling that the Cleveland Browns are going to pull this one out, and I feel like Baker Mayfield will continue to play pretty solid. I mean, he's been pretty good this year, and I think Kareem Hunt's going to have a big day. I just traded him away in fantasy, but for this week, if you got him and you can't trade him, I mean, definitely he should have a mega game this week. So I'm going to take the Browns here.
Good pick. We're gonna have to see what happens. I mean, you had 2 good running backs, and I really would have liked to see this game with Nick Chubb in. I mean, I kind of feel like Josh Jacobs and Nick Chubb are kind of similar players, and I think that could have had a pretty interesting outcome, and it could have been an exciting game to watch if Nick Chubb was in.
Yeah, I mean, it should be interesting. I'm not sure if Austin Hooper's back, but the Browns do have some big injuries on that offense, so definitely could go to the Raiders here, no doubt. But I just got some weird feeling. I don't know. We've disagreed now in 4 games. That might be like a all-time record here. Could be interesting. Chargers, Broncos. To me, this one, I'm going to go easily with the Chargers. I love what Justin Herbert has been doing. I think they're such a good team. I don't know how they're 2-4. If you look at actually they've lost, it's all close. It's all within a touchdown. This is the team that we were looking at that was all within a touchdown. And you look at the teams they've lost to: Saints, Bucks, Chiefs, Panthers, but otherwise no losses you can really be ashamed of there.
I know. Really keep it close in all of them. They keep it close.
Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Sorry about that. You look at Herbert's stats last week: 9 versus 66 yards touchdown, and then this, the passing attack. Really great game from Justin Herbert. Really great game in general. So to me, the Chargers will be able to beat the Denver Broncos, who offensively just aren't the same. Aren't the same. I don't know where I was going. I guess aren't the same as the Chargers, I guess I should say. I feel like the Chargers will have a big day. So give me the Chargers.
Yep. I agree with you. Chargers going to win this game. The record does not tell the whole story. They're a great team. We kind of showed you guys that. Those close losses, they're a much better team than people think. And I mean, that Derwin James loss, I mean, imagine if he was in, some of those losses could easily turn to wins. I mean, next year, I know it's still this year. It's a long way till next year, but the Chargers, I think, could potentially be one of the best teams in the league next year after this offseason. Great team. Justin Herbert's playing great. Can't see how they're going to lose this one.
Yeah, it's great to see that they found that new franchise quarterback too. People were unsure about Herbert. I was always big on him coming out of college, but some people were unsure, and he's definitely proved them wrong. He's been playing fantastic, arguably the offensive rookie of the year right now in the NFL. I would say so myself. Either him or Burrow, probably. Saints, Bears. I'm going to give this one to the Saints. I'm just not sold on the Bears, even without Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas hasn't played the whole year, though, for the Saints. That's really been weird. I don't know what the whole deal is there, if they're trying to maybe save him and trade him. I mean, what a disaster it's turned out to be there. But the Bears, I'm not sold right now on this Bears team. I don't know how they've managed to go 5-2. I guess their defense is playing really, really well. Yeah, I mean, they got blown out, though, last week, but to me, Kamara is just going to have a field day. So, and I think the Saints defense is solid enough to where the Bears will have some trouble scoring. So give me the Saints here.
Yeah, I mean, Mike Thomas turned to a meme and the Saints gone crazy. I don't even know right now, but the Bears should be able to get a win here. I'm going to go with the Bears. I like their defense. They did lose last week versus the Rams. You showed that. But I mean, the Saints, I feel like these are the types of games that they've ended up losing throughout the season in their 2 losses. The Bears are a team that I think is the one team that could potentially stop Alvin Kamara, and their defense is good enough to stop their offense entirely. And it's really going to be a match between the Saints defense and the Bears offense, in my opinion. And I think the Bears offense is going to end up being able to come out on top this one.
Interesting. I'm not sold on the Bears, but should be interesting to see what happens there. Another disagreement, but that's what we love here. We love when we're going at it. 49ers, Seahawks. 49ers have pulled it together, man. 4-3. Jamal Adams, it looks like, and 3 running backs are game day decisions. Jamal Adams has not been healthy. What a good trade that I guess it looks like for the Jets. But Seahawks are 5-1. They just acquired Carlos Dunlop. I'm going to take the Seahawks here. That offense is too explosive, and they got Carlos Dunlop. And if Jamal Adams plays, that's just a plus. But to me, the Seahawks will continue to play well. Tough loss last week, but it was close. And to me, they're still one of the best teams. Niners are 2 injured still. So give me the Seahawks.
Yeah, I'm going to give this to Seahawks. I mean, Seahawks, I think they could be the actual best team in the NFL. I think last week they kind of lost. I think the division game just kind of got over their heads. But I think the Seahawks are probably the best, or arguably the best team in the NFL right now. The 49ers, I mean, they didn't look great. They started looking good. I mean, I'm just too confused to pick them right now. I got to see a little bit more consistency from them before I can give them a win right now. But Seahawks, too good of a team playing at home. They should be able to win this one.
Yeah, I agree with that. Seahawks there. And now we'll get into the prime time game of the week. Cowboys, Eagles.
This will be the best game of the entire week, man.
Ben DiNucci will get the start. The new Trace McSorley of the internet almost. Imagine if him and DiNucci matched up. That'd be pretty crazy.
Imagine they make it to the Pro Bowl, both of them.
I know. They're saying they might get voted in for the write-in. That'd be crazy.
That'd be so funny. It would be funny if Ben DiNucci has a game tomorrow.
I mean, yeah, maybe Andy Dalton is doubtful. So, I mean, he'll might be back next week, but who knows? What do you got here? I'll give you the lead on this one.
You know, I can't even make a joke right now. Eagles could easily win by like 30 points this game. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if getting Lane Johnson back, getting Rager back. Cowboys cut Darryl Worley. I mean, maybe that could help because he was a liability. It's not like he was helping you in any way. He was just a liability. Like, I think anyone could come in and play better than him, but we're going to have to see about that. The Eagles are easily going to put up 30, 35 points on the Cowboys this week, especially I think Jalen Rager could have a big day coming back off his injury. The Cowboys now playing great defensively. As I said, they cut Dontari Poe, Darryl Worley, traded Everson Griffin. But those are more liabilities. So, I mean, maybe the defense could even improve from just getting rid of those players. We'll have to see about that. But offensively, Cowboys probably aren't going to be able to do anything. Zach Martin's back. That could help out a little bit. But it's probably not going to make a difference in this game at all. I mean, maybe Ben DiNucci could turn himself from a meme to a king. We're going to have to see about that.
I think he wins this game. That would be crazy. That would become madness. But to me, I think you're picking the Eagles, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going Eagles too. I just can't pick the Cowboys here with the third string QB in, no matter how much I love DiNucci. I just can't do it. The Eagles have actually been playing pretty solid these past few weeks. We've seen them play some pretty solid games. Carson Wentz has stepped it up for sure. He's gotten it going a bit. As much as it hurts me to say, I'm not a Carson Wentz fan myself. But yeah, to me, this one will be an Eagles win. I just can't take the Cowboys with that lackluster defense. And then on top of it, Mr. DiNucci at the QB position. I mean, Zeke is going to be the key, though. If Zeke goes off, they have a chance. If Zeke is not playing good, there's absolutely no chance they win this game.
I agree with you.
That'll take us to our final game of the week. And to me, this one is my chalk. That's chalk of the week, as I've kind of said, weirdly enough. Oh, Jason Pierre-Paul apparently says he's coming for their next. So that's interesting. Justin Wirfs could show the Giants what they passed on. I guess there's some drama in this game. The Giants took Andrew Thomas. That guy has stunk. He's been terrible. He's a bust. That was always a weird pick for me. I never thought they should have gone him. I thought Wills I wasn't huge on Becton. I thought he was a little overhyped, but he's been great for the Jets. I'll say that. Worse, I thought they should have taken, but they took Andrew Thomas. Not a great pick, but I'm taking the Bucs here, even without Chris Godwin, even with Bradbury and Mike Evans. I think the Bucs defense the Giants are just going to have not a good game at all with that defense. I think Danny Dimes is really going to struggle. He'll have a few turnovers in there. I think Brady will be able to find his weapons enough. And, the Bucs always have that run attack. If the passing game's not working, they can go to Ronald Jones. They can go to Leonard Fournette. So to me, we've got all these options. And then they'll get AB next week, which will be super exciting to see him back on there, see the chaos that could ensue. But to me, this is a Buccaneers win.
Yeah, Buccaneers going to win. I mean, they don't have Mr. CTE in there yet, but we'll see that next week. I mean, you said about the Andrew Thomas pick. I mean, one of my friends was high on him coming in. I was surprised. I thought him and Mekhi Becton were the third and fourth best. So it's Tristan Wirfs. I mean, I could see him playing for someone that could have a decent game. I thought it would be him or Jedrick Wills at that pick, but I'm surprised Giants are going to be able to get done. I think a lot of pressure is going to go up against and get right in Daniel Jones' face. Shaq Barrett's going to have a big day, I think, and then Devin White playing well. I mean, it kind of seems like they have a stud in all levels of the defense. Up Shaq Barrett, second level at the linebacker position, Devin White, and then in the secondary with Antoine Winfield. So they got a lot of studs on defense, and Giants are going to have a really, really bad game this week, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the Bucks draft, Wirfs, Winfield, what a fantastic draft. They picked out of that W last name section on the draft sheet, and they did a fantastic job. So props to them for having a great draft. And 5-2, they look pretty good to me with AB. This team and the defense playing well. This team is a true Super Bowl contender, in my opinion. I don't know what you think on that, but to me, I think this team could seriously be a Super Bowl threat this year.
Yep. I mean, I'm not sure how far I think they can make it. I think they're going to be a good team, but I mean, maybe the NFC Championship potentially, but I don't know. I don't know why I'm still not entirely sold.
I know you're not sold on them. I know you haven't been the past two. I mean, to me, if we look at their games, this is just they blew out the Packers. I mean, after that the Bears loss is probably what's holding you back. They had a really rough game against that Bears team.
It's just
starters. What are you gonna say?
I mean, it's just weird. I don't know. It's just a feeling in me. It's like something about their play and how they play just doesn't click with me. I feel I'm not sure. I don't know. It's a weird feeling, but I'm just not entirely sold on them yet. It's weird.
Yeah, I mean, to me, if you just look, you look at just they blew out two good teams these past two games. And I mean, you look at Brady, what are Brady's stats right now? Oh, Rob Kardashian's rare Tom Brady card gets a perfect 10 grade. Wow.
Wow. That's pretty.
Congratulations to Mr. Rob Kardashian on that one. The famous Kardashian brother there again. Something good. Yeah, you look at his stats here. Right there, 18 tutties, 4 picks right now, 19 10 yards. So pretty well, 102.7 passer rating, which is a high for him since 2017. So he's playing better than he has recently for sure, which I think contributes to those weapons there. But yeah, I think the Buccaneers could be a threat. We'll see what happens there. I know you're not sold on them, and I don't think your win on the Giants will help that case this week, but maybe in the future, when they match up with the Chiefs, maybe that'll be able to give you a better representation. They've got 4 good matchups here, so we'll see what happens there.
Yep.
All right, well, that does it for our game predictions. One thing I kind of want to touch on, the only other thing I really have in my mind, we saw UFC 250. Let me see which UFC this was, actually. I believe it's 254.
I'm probably going to have to let you lead on.
254, UFC 254. We saw Justin Gaethje lose to Khabib Nurmagomedov in the second round. And Khabib has retired, kind of a shocking decision, but one everyone understands with the passing of his father. He just said it won't be the same. He can't do a fight without him. So obviously, no chance of another Khabib McGregor fight, even though Khabib might dismantle him again. Khabib's going down as one of the greatest pound for pound fighters in UFC history. He's going down arguably in the GOAT conversation for the UFC. So congratulations on a great career to him. I wasn't the biggest fan always on him in his career, but the guy's a beast. You got to give credit where credit's due. And he absolutely tore up in the UFC in his career. And should be an interesting fight. We'll see what happens with the title fight. I believe Gaethje's going to be fighting someone for that. Who knows when, but really good. Not a great fight, but really great performance for Khabib, we'll say. Any thoughts on UFC 254, Mac?
For this, honestly, I have no clue. I haven't been a big fan of UFC or any of that, so anything I say wouldn't probably make any sense.
That's a fair point. Hey, at least you're being honest about it. But I'm not a crazy UFC guy, but it's an interesting sport. I think it's interesting in that lightweight division is it's up for grabs now, so it should be really interesting to see what happens there. So, that's all I got. Do you got anything else you want to talk about? Literally anything. I'm good for anything. So, what do you want?
We're both Ohio State boys. We got the big Penn State game tonight.
Yeah.
So, I'll ask you this: what are your thoughts on Penn State, thinking they have a chance in winning this game. What are your thoughts
I
on?
mean, I don't think they're going to win. I mean, I will say this. I was worried about Ohio State. That first half, their defense was not good.
Yeah,
Nebraska was in the game for too long. I thought they should have been able to get a quicker lead, a bigger lead out of the gate. They got it going in the second half, which was good to see. So maybe it's just some rust in the first half, but first half is not promising. But I don't think Penn State's going to be able to come in just off and win. Or even, the game's in Penn State, right? At
yeah.
Penn State. Well, I don't think they're going to be able to, even at home, win against Ohio State. To me, that offense for Ohio State, I think Olave should be healthy. I'm not sure. I'll check, actually.
Sure.
I thought he was okay.
I think he probably.
I think he's fine. Saturday morning update. We'll see what Ryan Day had to say. They're hoping to have him ready. So it seems like he should play. I'm not 100% sure on that, but to me, Ohio State's offense will get the job done. I was a little, actually, the running game looked weak. I will say that. The running attack really was not anything special. They have a few guys in there. I believe Trey Sermon, Master Teague were two of the guys featured, I believe. We saw Julian Fleming, the number 1 overall recruit, in there for a bit. That was good to see him, and he had 1 catch. But I think Ohio State will be able to pull this one out, but their defense is little concerning, but they do have some good players. Sean Wade, I know you posted about that flop. That was pretty funny, but yeah, we'll see what happens. I think Ohio State's going to win. I don't think it'll be that close, but we'll see. I mean, anything's possible. We've seen this college season. A lot of the good teams have lost, and also I'll let you speak, but I do have something I want to talk about after, so we'll go with that.
All right. I mean, yeah, we talked about that run game. Some of these players, though, especially they showed some signs of hope. I mean, like Chambers. I mean, he had a great game, 8 yards per carry, four rushes though. However, I mean, but they have some potential there. Not, I mean, it wasn't too great this first game, but they showed some signs. I mean, Justin Fields also playing great in the run game too. He had 15 carries, 54 yards. I mean, 3.6 average, but I mean, you're putting up a lot of carries as a quarterback in college football. I mean, you may not have some of the best games occasionally, but in the past game, you saw what he did: 20 for 2021. I mean, 20 for 21. Excuse me. I mean, that's great. It shows you his accuracy. I mean, 1 incompletion in his first start back. That's great. That's what you want to see. And I mean, we could even see him. Could he pass Trevor Lawrence as a potential number 1 overall pick this year? I mean, we're gonna have to see. I mean, if he continues putting up performances like that, I think it could be a no doubter that he potentially could be that number 1 overall pick.
Well, speaking of Trevor Lawrence, that's kind of what I want to touch on. He has the coronavirus right now. Pretty crazy. So he will not be playing this week. And the game against Notre Dame is in doubt for his status, depending on how he fares with the virus. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? That could be huge. If he doesn't come back the same, that could really hurt his draft status potentially. I mean, who knows what could happen there? So what are your early thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be hard. It's going to really be a true tell when he is back. We see, like in the NFL, we see some of these players who have caught COVID. Maybe it's because of COVID, or maybe it's just bad luck that they haven't been able to perform the same. And it's going to be hard to tell. I mean, we're going to have to see when he does come back. But for the Clemson team overall, I think they're going to be able to beat Boston College today. And but next week versus Notre Dame, it could be a loss for them there, especially Notre Dame's number 4 in the country right now. But Trevor Lawrence, it's going to be hard to tell. And what we've seen with the NFL, as I said, a lot of struggling to come back and play at a high level after COVID. We're going to have to see how that fares with Trevor Lawrence in college football. I mean, I can see him having a little bit of a drop off, but I don't think it's be too significant. But the number 1 overall pick, I mean, I think that's just going to be on Justin Fields. If Justin Fields plays great this season, that could be the only thing that really turns it around for me.
Yeah, I mean, they do have the freshman guy. I forget his name. That was, I believe, the number 1 high school recruit this year. It's like DJ Clemson. DJ
I can't pronounce that.
Angulele.
I don't know.
That's going to be a fun one. I'm sure those announcers are absolutely thrilled that how they have to pronounce that. That would not be a fun one. Oh my goodness. So he'll play. I agree they'll get the win. Should be interesting to see what happens there, though. Obviously, speedy recovery to Trevor Lawrence. Hope he fares well. He just recently got engaged, I actually believe, to his longtime girlfriend. So congratulations to him on that, and hopefully he recovers quickly. Even though I'm not the biggest Trevor Lawrence guy, you never want to wish the virus on someone. So speedy recovery to him, and I hope he fares well and gets back on the field quickly.
Well, Ashley, I mean, maybe in like 4 days we could even see him without the virus. I mean, after the election.
Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, who knows what will happen, but hopefully he fares pretty well. Should be interesting.
Everything there. I mean, is that all you want to talk about, or do you want to wrap things up here?
I'm good. I've got everything that I want to talk about. So unless you got something, we can wrap it up. Yeah.
All right, I guess I'll wrap it up. Thank you, everyone, for watching this week's episode of Outside the Arena. Make sure to follow us on Instagram. My Instagram is mac.rommel. Griffin's Instagram is
Griffin Senek.
Our podcast Instagram is Outside the Arena Podcast. I'm not sure when it's going up, but everyone have a great day. Enjoy your college football or football, whatever it is. Make sure to stay safe, and we'll be ready to make another episode of Outside the Arena next week.